The IRS is sending almost 40 million Americans these tax forms, and this is in hopes of improving tax revenues. I wonder what happened to them saying that they were just going to tax the rich instead of those of us at the bottom, huh?
According to the IRS, last year, a new law went into effect that now requires sales completed on e-commerce platforms to report to the IRS if they make more than $600.
If it's more than $600, you're going to get a 1099-K from the platform. And not only are you going to get one, the IRS is going to get one.
Several e-commerce sites say they will send a 1099-K form to the seller. Stieber says, remember that all income earned is taxable unless it's specifically under the tax code like life insurance and gifts.
Under the law, person-to-person transfers are not supposed to be included, like sending your daughter gas money at college. But if you are selling stuff on eBay, you're supposed to get one of these, and you've got to account for that on your tax return.
Now, if you guys remember, this form has become very polarizing. You see, the threshold for the gross income sales before this entire deal was set at $20,000 annually. Going over that then is only when you would actually receive this form. The new rule sets the threshold down to $600. That's a difference of $19,400. Now, I'm a little bit curious about this. If you make a little bit more than $600 per year, do you feel as if you're going to become a millionaire or something like that? Or maybe I should ask this. Is $600 a lot of money that the IRS is now suddenly thinking, oh, that's a lot of income. Better pay your taxes on that. I mean, that's an extreme step back from 20 grand, isn't it? But before we get any further, do you guys feel as if the $600 threshold is fair for us? Comment a quick yes or no down below on that one. And while you guys are at it, make sure to smash the like button and consider subscribing to the channel as I give all of you guys all of the major updates that you need each and every single day. Appreciate that, you guys. So getting back on track here, this change to the 1099-K form may be very confusing to a lot of people, especially for the more than 44 million people that are expected to be filing this form by 2024, which, by the way, is a whopping 30 million more people than normal. Now, one change that taxpayers might face is the calculation of their profits or their losses, which would risk inaccurate reports to the IRS. Makes you kind of wonder, like, how big of a difference this is when we owe them money compared to when they owe us money. You know what I'm saying? Now, this policy change was included in the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. It was supposed to be included during tax year 2022, but the IRS postponed it to 2023 tax year instead. I wonder if they got a lot of backlash for this. So unless Congress puts a stop to it, this may actually see the light of day. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on this, although I'm already seeing some lawmakers and groups pushing against this change that would definitely hit a lot of Americans, with them saying that the IRS could hardly even do its job now. How much more would it be if they added this? But what do you guys think? Is this something that you would support? And since we're talking about policy changes, let's go ahead and pivot just for a second. Let's talk about Target, all right? You and I know that some of these retailers, they're removing their self-checkout counters. However, Target is trying a completely different approach with some of their stores.
They just announced that they're limiting the self-checkout lines to 10 items or less in an attempt to better understand shoppers' preferences. All right. So if you have a full cart, you're going to need to check out with a cashier. The goal is to shorten those wait times, and they say it isn't because of loss prevention.
Any initial thoughts on that? Some say that Target's going to need to step it up with their number of cashiers. Meanwhile, others think that it's a good idea given that self-checkout counters are not really that helpful and they mess up most of the times.
So what are the pros and cons of self-checkout?
Well, the main reason consumers like them is they believe they will save time, but often having professionals scan your product, the products you buy, is faster than scanning it yourself. For stores, they are trying to save money. They can have one person supervise 6, maybe 10 self-checkout lanes rather than just work at one staffed lane. So it's a cost reduction for stores.
Now, speaking of messing up, Target had a big one where they sent a woman in Minnesota 130 packages within just a few days. Now, you might be thinking that girl must have been on a spending spree, but nope. These packages were not for her. In fact, they weren't even different items. It was 130 plus boxes of eyewear for other people. The worst part is that she was out of town when the boxes came in. So yeah, you can probably tell that she was a little bit surprised when she got home. Not to mention, all these boxes piled up in front of her house pretty much told all prospective burglars that she wasn't even home. That's not cool. Target, though, has already apologized for the mix-up and has offered her an amazing gift card for all of her troubles. Wow. Okay, at least they made good on that. But my question is, like, how does even something like this happen in the first place? Because she said that she's ordered eyewear through Target once, and well, that's a pretty big mix-up if you ask me. How would you react if you came home to like 130 plus boxes of glasses that you did not order? I can imagine bringing all those boxes back yourself would be a bit of a nightmare. There's no way in the world I would be able to fit 130 boxes in my car. Anyway, much like the nightmare that some Target and Walgreens employees supposedly face most days in Cali, stuff that they don't even want you to know. And like, I really don't have as many words for this one. I mean, at this point, who do you blame, right? Is anyone even at fault? From retailers, though, let's go ahead and shift gears just a little bit to the car makers, as we're now seeing Hyundai and Kia facing a couple of challenges right now. The NHTSA is investigating a series of recalls from both car manufacturers that affected 6.4 million vehicles.
South Korea's top two automakers, Hyundai and Kia, are recalling vehicles in the U.S. due to the risk of engine fires and telling owners to park outside and away from structures until repairs are complete. Nearly 3.4 million vehicles combined are being recalled. Hyundai has reported 21 fires and 21 other thermal incidents since 2017, while Kia confirmed 10 fires and melting incidents among its autos. Both companies said brake fluid leaks may cause electrical shorts that could spark engine fires. Hyundai is recalling more than 1.6 million vehicles spanning model years 2011 through 2015. Among them, the Elantra, Genesis Coupe, Sonata Hybrid, Tucson, and many others. Kia's U.S. recall covers more than 1.7 million automobiles, including the Sportage, Optima, Sorento, and K900, spanning years 2010 through 2017. Owners are expected to be notified of the recalls in November.
Can you imagine that? That's a lot of cars. So you're not going to like why they recall these vehicles. So get this, guys. This was related to brake fluid leaks that may lead to fires. So yes, that's not something you want to have inside your vehicle. Not to mention, if you run out of fluid, your brake pedal's not going to work and you can't stop your car. That could be a problem. Now, is it just me, or are we seeing more of the quality of cars just kind of go down as we, I don't know, how do we call it, as we advance our technology? I mean, Back to the Future thought that we'd be in flying cars and hoverboards by now, but instead we're hearing recalls left and right with cars possibly burning up the streets. But again, guys, I always leave everything that I talk about here with you guys, and I want to leave the last word with you. Any thoughts on everything that we discussed today? Make sure you share them down below in the comment section. And before I go, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for liking the video. Keep safe, and I'll see you on the next one.